Now, as promised, here I am giving you all the information as I go through the whole military to civilian transition. About 2 weeks ago, I put in for my retirement from the Marine Corps. I'm at 19 years right now, so that'll take me to the end of next year to 2020 or 2023, where I hit 20 years. All this information, it doesn't matter if you are at 19 years, 17 years, just gonna do your 4 years and get out. All the information is almost the same, right? I mean, you're still doing the transition, you're still separating from the military. So today I wanted to share with you five things that I'm learning, that I'm encountering as I start my transition process. Okay, number one, start early. Start as early as you can. So about at my 15-year mark, I did my 5-year plan. I tried to establish where I wanted to be at my 20 years, you know, what rank I want to be, how much money I'm going to be bringing in, you know, all those things, my 5-year plan. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait until like the last year to start doing all this stuff. Go at least 2 years out, maybe at your 18-year mark, and start doing the whole transition, start doing the research, start looking at your VA benefits, start gathering all your medical documentation, get everything started at your 2-year mark. And actually, I don't know how it is in different services, but in the Marines, you can actually start your TRS process, your Transition Readiness Seminar process, about 2 years out. I would suggest doing that. And I started mine at about a year and a half out. I did the phone call, they interview you, they try to figure out, you know, what kind of education you have, what your route is, whether you want to do like entrepreneurship or go into federal service. They'll do an interview with you for about 30 minutes. And they'll have you fill out all this paperwork and junk like that. If you're only doing 4 years now, hey, start looking at it about 2 years out, if you know that you are definitely going to be transitioning out. But the earlier, the better. Number two, get your medical documentation organized. Now I have a lot of folks, I have a lot of friends who are, you know, veterans who have transitioned out, who have retired or separated, and they all seem to tell me the same thing. How is your medical documentation looking? Is it all in order? You definitely want to go and reach out to your medical records department. I do this about every 6 months or so, and I just update the last pieces of my medical record just to make sure I'm tracking on everything. I actually have to do it in January again. I'm just going to go and request records for my last 6 months because that's just the missing piece I have in my medical record. And I'm going to continue doing that until I hit my 20 years. If you happen to be at a hospital or a doctor's office or a clinic outside of the base, go and reach out to those places and request those documents. Have them send it over to you because it might be that that hospital does not talk to your branch medical clinic and they don't share the information, they don't transfer the information, so you definitely want to go out to those other clinics and get all that information. Number three, network. Again, this is another piece of information that I keep hearing across all veterans organizations and friends of mine who have gotten out. There's a ton of veterans organizations out there that want to help you. A lot of them are free of charge. Reach out to folks who have been there, who have done that, and get to know them. Start networking. You know, when you go to these career fairs, a lot of these career fairs are veterans who have gotten out who now work as recruiters for these companies. Hey, ask questions. I have not encountered anyone who has not been willing to help me. Everybody has been super helpful. Definitely ask questions. Also take advantage of LinkedIn. I'm a fan of LinkedIn. I've been on there for a little bit, and I just activated my my 1 year free premium. I think it's called LinkedIn Premium. It gives you a year free basically, and it unlocks all the whatever paid content. So it gives you full access to LinkedIn. There are tons of veterans organizations out there who are willing to help you out. I've gone out there and messaged, you know, previous leaders that I've had, the folks who I've encountered in the past, folks that I went to, you know, training with, even folks who I never met before who are pushing out good content. I reached out to them, asked them questions, and they've been super helpful. So definitely network. Do not be afraid to go out and talk to people, you know, kind of get out of your shell a little bit, because it is really about who you know when you're transitioning out of the military. Number four, get educated. Get educated. You know, it doesn't matter if you have a high school diploma, it doesn't matter if you have a master's degree, everybody's different. Take the time that you have left and get educated. I know in the Marine Corps, there is, at least for officers, from the last time you used tuition assistance, you have to pay back 2 years of that. So I made sure that I stopped it at my 18-year mark, so that way I didn't have to pay back those 2 years. Be very aware of that and kind of fall within those bounds. And you need to understand that there's places out there where you can get free training and certificates as well. Places like the USO, Veterans Transition Services, VTS here in Southern California, they will actually pay for your certificates through like Coursera. And Coursera, if you don't know, is Coursera.org, is a platform where you can actually go and take classes for certificates. Normally you would have to pay for those certificates, usually like $100 or something like that, but these organizations like USO, VTS, they will cover the cost for you. Just reach out to them first, get hooked up with their Coursera.org link, and they will hook you up with some certificates. As long as you're willing to do the work, they're willing to pay it out for you. Now on Coursera, there's courses like human resources, project management, cybersecurity. There's a ton of other things. Definitely look into that. That is a valuable resource that I think everybody who's doing the transition process should get into. Number 5 on my list is starting on your resume. This is huge. Like I said, I'm a year out, so as I'm going through and finding jobs that I'd be interested in, I'm kind of kicking myself in behind that I didn't start my resume sooner, like last year. If you go through Hiring Our Heroes, I found them through my Transition Readiness Specialist on base. And they will hook you up with somebody through Hiring Our Heroes that will assist you in writing your resume for you. What I did was I provided them about, 8 years of my fitness reports. That's my evaluations. They take all that information and they're currently working it up right now to actually type up a resume for me. And I might have to make minor tweaks here and there, but that's fine. I get the majority of it done, and it is an invaluable service for any service member, any transitioning service member. I have not yet seen the output of that yet, but I'm hoping that it's something good. And again, it's free, so I'm not arguing. I'm willing to make some minor tweaks on my resume if need be. Big thing with the resume that I've read and I've heard is, get rid of all that military talk, get rid of all that military jargon, and use civilian terms, just explain things. Understand that there's different resume styles for federal and civilian resumes. I think the lady on the phone from Hiring Our Heroes mentioned that federal resumes are like 10 pages long, whereas civilian resumes are like 1 to 2 pages. That's a vast difference, and I'm setting one up for each one, both federal and civilian, because I don't know what I'm going to get into, but I want to be ready. And you want to tailor each resume to whatever job that you are applying for, whether it be human resources, cybersecurity. You're not going to submit the same resume for everything, so you want to make sure you tailor that thing to whatever job you have. And it was only supposed to be 5, but I'll throw this one in there as well. Stay positive. Okay, you're not the first one to transition. You're not going to be the last one to transition out of the military. At some point in time, and not even if you do 4 years or 24 years, you're going to have to transition at some point in time. So that's the big reason why I made this channel, was because I could not find all the information I was looking for in one place. It was either on the VA site or LinkedIn. I had to search other benefit sites, ask folks. I'm doing all this research. I figured, why not just compile all this information and shoot it out to the world, post it up somewhere where everybody is exposed to it, and help somebody else out. Help somebody else out who's transitioning, who's in the same position as me and doesn't know really where to turn. Hey, if you gain something out of this, please share it with somebody who is in the transition process or who may be in the transition process. Because I really would like to get the word out. I really would like to help out as much as possible. And with that, I fully intend to share some more good information, some more good videos coming up as I document my entire process going from military to civilian. It's not an easy time. It's kind of frustrating. It's stressful, but we have folks that are willing to help us out, and I'm willing to help you out. Reach out if you need to. Comment below if you have any specific questions. I'm looking forward to covering a lot of stuff in my upcoming videos. All right? Until then, out here.